Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So tonight we have a very special tarot card reading. So she's had some other readings before, but we've been looking into a situation, and it's with this particular person that she cares a great deal about, that she's very much in love with, and she would like to, or at least hope, that he's also very much in love with her as well. And there's been some talk that maybe he's getting married to someone else, or that there's a lot of different things going on with this particular thing. There was an incident once where, if I recall correctly, he had told her that, he'd gotten COVID, and, he got off the phone with her and stuff like that and said that he'd call her back. And then I think he never did. And, there's a lot of different things going on with this. And anyways, I know she would really like to get some insight and some understanding about what's really happening here. And, for all intents and purposes, so far, through the course of doing these readings and everything, we have found that, everything kind of pointed as like, it's just, he's not really getting married, that this will work out. She's perceived some different things from his behavior, though. Like, she's perceived some things like he seems a little guilty, like when he gets off the phone with her here and there sometimes, or like he's not exactly telling everything or being completely honest with her in terms of like what's going on with him. And, she just wants to get some understanding around this and really, kind of build this thing out. And so I'm really hoping tonight we can get some kind of really clear, better insight for her to kind of, just kind of see what's really going on here. So I'm going to cut the cards. We're going to do a reading. And then we're going to see where we're at with everything. I'm just going to lay these cards out. All right. So once again, we're getting some of the same cards that we had before with, the previous readings we've done for you, my dear. And it's indicating the exact same thing. It does give you a little hope toward the end here, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But, it just sort of confirms everything that I've been saying so far. I mean, it's sort of like if you do, it's sort of like you can hope and hope and hope, but if the same thing keeps coming about, then it's sort of like, well, at some point you just have to kind of give in and be, just accepting of the outcome. And sometimes it's not always easy to accept the outcome, but it's easier sometimes when the outcome is actually what we hope it would be. And in this case, it is. And we will talk about that in just a moment. I'm just kind of letting a few more things kind of permeate in my mind as I just kind of like zone in on this reading and everything. I'm very, very psychic tonight. I've done several tarot card readings and that, and today's the 3rd of August, and I don't know, it's just like I'm picking up so much psychic energy tonight for some reason, that so much insight and so many things have really come to me. I've done so many tarot card readings tonight. It's just really unreal. And so if anyone is chiming in on the channel right now, it's 30 minutes shy of midnight here in Michigan. So, in the past we had sort of this omen of who we should be with, what this soulmate of ours looks like, who this partner is that we should be with. And we know that it's the omen because of the star. The star is about wishing and wishes fulfilled. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. That was the old childhood hymn for when you're wishing upon a star. You go out into the night sky, you see a beautiful star, and that's the star that you wish on. It's called the wishing star, and it's like the omen. It's where, throughout different traditions and things, stars have been kind of like the omens. They've taught us about direction. They've given us guidance. They've given us confirmation on our feelings and our emotions. And they just really brought a lot of things home. And that's what this card is really all about. And that's the past card. So we know what we want. We know what the desire is. We know what the omens tell us. We know where our happiest path is, and the path of love and spirituality, where all that comes into play at. And it's right here. It's a place where peace prevails, and everything hidden becomes revealed. And that was in the past. In the present moment, we have the Queen of Swords. Now, queens are about influence. Swords are about the mind, the mental things. They go on inside of our brains, inside of our mind. And this queen here, she's able to, look at other people's ideas, look at other people's thoughts, look at other people's feelings and their emotions and what's going on with them. And she's able to just pretty much slice through that. And she's able to use that to her advantage in order to materialize things, to bring things out, to get people to do what she wants. She has a lot of control, a lot of influence over other people and how they make decisions and that. And that's what this queen is really all about. And that's where you're at right now. You have a lot of personal power. You're very intuitive and you're very perceptive. So you're able to talk to people on an intellectual level and then really perceive situations for really the way that they are. Now, in the near future, I'm picking up a couple of months from now, we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is, I think you've had this one before, actually, if I'm not mistaken, but the Hierophant card is really about traditions. Sometimes people call this the Pope card or the Spirit Guide card or something along those lines. It's basically, we see the pillars, which are about support. So this is structured beliefs, and it's like structured ideologies, and it's about tradition and culture and things that make up who we are, things that define our reality, things that define our past. Those things are things that we are immersed in at a very young age, and they have a very deep, profound impact on our psychology, our way of life, the way that we see the world, the decisions that we make, and in all these other kind of forms and formats of the way that we just handle ourselves and the people that we decide that we're going to associate with, or the people that we decide to have a relationship with, and those kind of things. So people like themselves generally, so they prefer to be with people that share some of the same, share the same beliefs, the same religious, spiritual beliefs, the same cultural beliefs, have some of the same cultural norms. It's about familiarity. It's about being with people that we're comfortable being around because they share the same kind of common ways of looking at the world that we do, and the same kind of beliefs and everything. And so it's about that group cohesion, that kind of effect. And so, like, if you lost all of your friends tomorrow, you lost all your family members, everything happened, and you were uprooted and put into a completely different society with completely different everything. What this card would basically be is it would be like you would be looking out for people that would share some of the same kind of common values and beliefs. And even though they may not be people that you know, because you share the same beliefs and the same cultural norms and everything like that, that same kind of root identity, these would be people that you could easily find yourself connected with, that would give you help and support. And then you could also likewise repay that by helping and supporting them as well in the ways that you are able. And you notice the columns here are all about support. So that's what you're really seeing a lot of with this particular card. This is the near future. So this just says that, one of the reasons that this person will opt to be more with you than with the possibility of being with any other person is because of this Hierophant card right here, is because they do share a lot of the same cultural norms that you share, and they value a lot of the same things spiritually and that kind of thing that you value. And so traditionally speaking and stuff like that, they share a lot in common with you, and they feel very comfortable with you. And so that's one of the reasons that this relationship would be, a pretty good matchup, if that helps you on that. So yeah, we see again them getting back with you for these reasons, eschewing others because of the same reasons. So we would we would maybe resist being with someone else because maybe they didn't share the same kind of values that we share. Their identity didn't match up to our identity, so there wasn't really that strong connection there. So as far as that Queen of Swords goes, with the influence that we talked about, we have kind of the energy that surrounds that is this Two of Swords, where we kind of have to pick a choice between traditional ways of doing things or more modern approaches. And twos are really about that. It's sort of that inherent conflict in opposites. So like the past is opposite of the present, right? Or the future. So there's that polarity there. Do we go backwards or do we move forward? Well, not deciding is also an option, and in effect, also a decision. The moon and stuff in this here picture that we see and all, it represents things unknown. And the blindfold, likewise. We're choosing to see things in a different way than what they really are. We're putting blinders on. And so the things that you're choosing to believe, it's unfortunate because they're not serving you any real good. And what you actually want, you're choosing to not see is in front of you. Maybe it's because you feel you're not worthy of it, or for a number of other different reasons, or whatever the case happens to be. But you just have to trust that things are going to work out really good, because they are. And put your energy and focus in that. Take the blindfold off, just start seeing him for who he is. He cares a great deal about you. You guys share a lot of commonality, a lot of common things. And so, he's his own person. You are your own person. But there's nothing else. That's, he wants to be with you. So that's that. And that's the energy surrounding that Queen of Influence and all. So the influence is that, it's time to take the blindfold off and to, choose to get what you want, and make it happen, and the way to do that, we've talked about this before, it's through service. It's through, waking up every day and saying, what can I do to help this person? What can I do to make an impact in this person's life? How can I serve this person more and more? And, I see it. I can so see how much you love this person just in the nature of the questions and things that you've asked and the things that you've told me and this, that, and the other. It's really very heartwarming, a very touching, a very beautiful story that you have, and it's one that will continue to move forward and positively for you. And that's good omens. And the star, that's a positive omen right there. So as far as kind of where your thinking is at and where it's been at for a moment is this Ten of Swords, It's not grounded in reality at any point, but this is sort of like giving up, This is sort of like throwing in the towel. This is, believing the untruth because it's what we believe, not seeing things for what it really is, like giving up on love, so to speak, And this is also an ending completion kind of card. So it's sort of like you're choosing to buy into this thing, but the story's not over. You're just thinking that it's over, You still have a long way to go with it, You're just getting started, in fact, and yet you're already having these negative thoughts, these negative emotional things about it all. And it's time to kind of let it go, Sometimes you just have to have faith in faith, or trust in faith. There's a biblical verse. It's Proverbs 2, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And another way of putting it, in a different perspective would be just, sometimes we have to trust that God or our higher self or the universe or whatever you want to define it as, or however you want to call it, is there for us, and wants us to be happy and wants to delight us and take care of us. And, but in order for that to happen, it also requires our faith. And faith is about believing in the things that are not what you see is what you get, So we get all these different obstacles all the time, things that would, really cause us a lot of heartache or a lot of despair. And, that's where faith really comes in. It's about seeing things not from what's in front of us necessarily, but seeing things for what in our heart we know is true, and having that firm resolve, that firm faith. and then being able to just kind of let that be our guiding light, our star. So that's really it with this particular card. This is just your attitude or your mindset or your thinking. But let's look and see if this is in alignment with actually what the future has in store for you, what the outcome has. So let's move now to the outcome. And the outcome is this card right here. It's Temperance again. Temperance is all about patience. Temperance wants to create the perfect concoction, the perfect solution, the perfect resolve, the perfect situation, and bring everything together perfectly. But for that to happen, you have to have a little patience, you know? And you have to be willing to kind of ride this thing out for a little while before you get what you want and before your love story becomes complete. And that's really what the lesson is in all of this. It's about just having patience, you know, and trusting that things are going to work out, and trusting that, you know, regardless of what your eyes tell you or your ears tell you or your five senses reveal to you, don't buy into those things. This is like sixth sense kind of thinking here. It's about looking beyond what the material world tells you is true and understanding things from a different vantage point. Having that trust, that faith in things that we talked about a moment ago. Knowing that things are going to work out. And knowing that things are not only going to work out, but in this case, they're going to work out perfectly in the best way possible to bring about the best result for everyone. And that's what happens here with this card. It's about revelation, things being revealed. And angels reveal things to us and stuff. But this is just sort of like letting you know that everything is going to be okay. And how do we make everything okay? What's really the key to it? No, it's this rejection of things. You know, we have this 8 of Cups here. Cups are about relationships. You know, we have everything that we ever want. And this card is really about rejecting the things that we want and just, you know, going along a spiritual path. You know, it's more about the spiritual and less about the material, less about the things that matter less and more about the things that matter more for us. And relationships can be very spiritual, you know, experiences for people. And, you know, they can be very enlightening, you know, in a sense, you know, for us. We have to, you know, give our attention over to them and stuff, and give our service over to them, and, you know, really put our heart into them. Or we can eschew things also, and that's this. So it's like trusting that things are going to be okay, you know, going more in alignment with the spirit and less in alignment with just, you know, everyday material life, you know, so to speak. And then if you do that and stuff like that, then ultimately you get what you want, you know, and that is basically patience. So sometimes you have to walk away from the relationship, to get the patience that you need for the relationship to turn out and to be what it is. So don't go anywhere. Don't jump the gun on anything. Don't have too much negativity, but do have patience, you know, and do be willing for the time being to just kind of like, you know, not be too heavily involved in this situation. You know, things will come back around to you soon enough, but they're not going to come around right away. It's going to take some time, some patience on your part before things start to materialize in the direction that you're really wanting. And when they do start to come into play for you and stuff like that, it will almost be unbelievable for you because you've spent so much time thinking the worst that, you know, when things do start to materialize in that direction, I mean, they'll bring a tear to your eye, and you'll be ecstatically happy and so on cloud 9, you know, and it will be such a love story, you know. It will just be one of those things that you read about in books. But anyways, that's your tarot card reading. So it's a good reading. Have the faith, have some patience. Things are going to work out just fine. I don't foresee anything bad with this at all. I mean, there's things that have to happen here and there, but just have patience and don't get yourself too enthralled in the goings on in his day-to-day affairs per se. Let him get these things worked out, and, you know, he'll work them out. Like, and just continue to serve, you know, like be there for him always. And the more that you serve, the more attractive you become to him, and the more attractive you become to him, the more he wants you, and the less he can even think of ever even wanting to be with someone else or have someone else in his life and that type of thing. So, but anyways, I hope it helps. It just kind of is sort of more of the same that we've talked about so far. And so I see everything working out perfectly well for you. And so much love, many blessings. If you need anything, though, please reach out to me. I'm always here for you. You know that. And that goes for all of you watching. If you need anything, my email address is in the description below this video. Just reach out to me. I'm always here for you. As a monk, we live in tiny quarters, obviously, and we take a vow of poverty, and we do service work. And one of the service jobs that I have is sharing this gift that I have. Ever since I was a small child, I was very psychic, and now I do tarot card readings and stuff like that to help people. So if you want a tarot card reading, of course, you're more than welcome to get one. Just reach out to me. And also, if you guys want to support our mission and helping us spread love for God to others, you're welcome to do that also. Just go to helpbydonating.com. We could really use the help, and everything that you send goes a long ways in helping others. So anyways, much love, many blessings. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so that when we come on, you get notifications. And if you come on and you want to jump in the chat and ask some questions or something like that, be more than happy to help you in that direction as well. But guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you guys in the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. See you then. Much love.